everyone, I am back today with a layout for Cut to You. I'm going to be using this bow cluster cut file. This is one of the new releases for October, and I'm going to be playing with my new One Canoe 2 Willow supplies. I'm going to start with the cut file. So it is white, and I really didn't think that I liked the idea of having the cut file be white on my page. I wanted to blend it out and give it just a little bit of color, and I'm going to do that by inking it all over with some Distress Oxide ink in old paper. This is like a creamy, very pale, it has a little bit of like a orange, yellow, not orange, yellow, maybe like a little green tinge to it, but it's a very nice, and I really do enjoy it, so I wanted to go ahead and add just a touch of color to my cut file. And when I've totally finished inking up the cut file, I'm going to run over to my little desk beside my scrapbooking table, and I'm going to grab some Goldilocks Shimmers spray. This is a shimmering spray, but it doesn't have color, so it's just going to give everything a beautiful gold tinge to it and some sparkle, and I really like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to spray the Goldilocks all over the top of the cut file, and then I'm going to set it aside to dry thoroughly before I continue to work with my cut file. So here are the photos I'm going to use today. These are photos of my two nieces and I. They're just some pretty photos, nice photos that my sister and I took, so they don't require a lot of explanation. They're just pretty photos. I've decided I'm going to use that pink as my background paper, so my paper will not be white cardstock. It's going to be that background paper. This pink one, I was just cutting off the branding strip, and now I'm going to go through the 6x8 paper pad, and I'm going to grab any and all of the patterns that I think would be nice. I'm looking for small patterns. I don't want things that will be hard to be able to read what the pattern is. So I'm going for, I'm going to check that butterfly, but I don't like it. I'm going to go with some small patterns, and I'm going to choose those to back all of my bows with. And I'm also looking for high contrast. I want these bows to really pop off of that pink background and really give my layout a lot of color and contrast with the photos, because the photos have a filter on them, so they're not super bright. And so I really want to kind of really get those warm, richer jewel tones on this page. So I left a bit of the backing of my cut file in this video for you all. I flipped over the first of my 6x8 paper pads. Then I flipped my cut file over, and that, because I had colored and inked up the one side of that cut file, it really helped to be able to tell which was the front side and which was the back side. I'm going to take each of these patterns, then I trace each of the bows and then fussy cut them out. My favorite glue for backing a cut file like this is close to my heart bonding memories, the glue pen. It's a really nice, it doesn't stream out, it has a really nice tip to it. You can really catch all of the little details of a cut file and really get them backed very, very well. And they stick real well too. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to back the rest of all of these bows. And I'm not going to make you watch me back them all because that would be a lot. And by the magic of YouTube, it is all done. I love how this turned out. I used some branding strips across the top and bottom of that pink paper to help just to give it a fun border and go ahead and get it. I don't know, I just liked it. I also really liked that burgundy strip at the top, and I pulled it down just a little tiny bit so you just had the burgundy and then a little bit of pink showing up. I am just tape runnering this. I am not going to play with foam dots or foam squares because I am going to use this almost as a background piece. I'm going to put my photos right on top of it. When you use a cut file that has a repeating shape like this, where you have lots of bows or lots of anything, circles or flowers or anything like that, I love to put my pictures in pride of place right there. I think that it allows your eye to find those photos right away. And it also, I just like it. I really enjoy having a background like this where it is a pattern that they're all bows and you can lay your photos down wherever you like. I did take a bit of time with this. I pulled it up and put it back down quite a few times until I had these bows exactly where I wanted them. I did use a T-square ruler. It kind of helped, it kind of didn't. So you can see me kind of like fussing with this a bit, trying to figure out how I'm going to get it down so that it's just the way I want it. But in the end, we got there, and it looks really, really nice. Next, I'm going to go ahead and map my photos on this beautiful green paper. I liked this dark green paper against the rest of the layout, and I thought that the nice foil detail would really set the pictures off. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use the green one on the picture of my niece Anna, and then the picture of my niece Ella is going to have the orange. I'm going to use the orange on the background. And I'm going to overlap the photos just a little bit, and what that does is it gives me two areas of embellishment right there around the photos that I can use to add some little bits and pieces while still maintaining the rest of that cut file. So you still know what you're looking at, and even though I covered up partial some of the bows, they're sticking out from around the photos, so they're still very, very visible, and you know what they are. So I'm just going to overlap those two photos, and then see I have those two little corners there that I can add embellishments to. Speaking of embellishments, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the die cuts because they will be my largest embellishments. And I'm going to choose what I want from there. I'm actually going to end up using my one of the embellishments for a title on this page, and which will be Simple Pleasures, because really we were just outside, we had eaten lunch, we were happy, we were just enjoying the weather. I think this was one of like the first warm days in the spring. So I'm just going to go through these die cuts. I'm going to pick out the ones I want to kind of start to build my clusters and where they're going to go. And then after I have my larger clusters, I'm going to come in with some stickers, just a couple, and just to add some smaller bits and pieces around my die cuts. So the die cuts I've chosen is that burgundy circle at the bottom that says Full of Joy. I have a green one at the top with a bird that says Love This, and then I have a little upside down tag. I love the look of an upside down tag with a little cluster on it. I just like it a lot. I'm going to pull a little bit of the flowers, the little sprigs of flowers out of this sticker, just so we have some flowers and some hearts, and then I'm going to go in with just a couple of enamel dots to pull in an element that is not paper. Because most everything else on this layout is going to be paper or stickers, so those enamel dots are quite needed. And there's also a lot of foil on this collection, so we have a lot of foiled pieces and foiled stickers that I can use. I'm going to pop dot just a couple. Like here I have those two little hearts, and I'm just going to pop one up and add in a couple more sprigs of those fun flowers. And this is how we're going to end this one up. I'm going to pop some pop tops just on the corners of my photos, just to give them a little bit of lift away from the cut file that's behind them, and give it just a little bit of dimension, not the whole thing, just those little corners. And that's going to complete this layout for today. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I hope you will head over to the Cut to You shop and check out the new releases for October. They're quite pretty. I have this bow one for this week, and then in about 2 more weeks I'm going to have one with the one arrow cut fire, and we're going to use a boy layout. So that'll be super fun too. Thank you so much for joining me today. Here are a couple of close-ups so you can see all of the little embellishments that I chose to add to my layout, and you can also get a really close-up view of that cut file and how beautiful it looks, all backed with the beautiful papers from One Canoe 2's Willow collection. I will see you all again very soon. Bye!